Hello, everyone. This is Blaze Knight here, back again with another video. And today, we're going to be talking about the Beast Alliance Lilibette. This is a data mine unit. So this was data mined a few days ago. It was data mined like 10 days ago, so nearly 2 weeks ago. And as you can see, she's probably going to be our next DOH unit coming out after Theria. During, I believe, the 14th of next month. And she right now, I think she might be the coolest or the second coolest main story, like DOA, like out of the three that we have right now: Divine Beast Array, Saint Theria, and this little bit. I think she might be the coolest, but I'm just gonna go into the breakdown of what I think her kit is gonna be. So right now, I'm really I'm really like doubting, or at least confused of why they decided to make her a sword unit. Because what I was mainly talking about, we on the Discord. If you join the Discord and you've seen a little bit of like what we talk about, there's a bit of like speculation about what the next DOA unit was, and we were thinking about having, well, not thinking about having, but we were discussing about a little bit being the next DOH unit. And during that discussion, a little bit after that, actually, it turned out that Theria was the next DOH unit, and so, well, I was mainly silent about that, so I don't know if anyone else had a discussion on who the next DOH unit would be or anything about that. Since it's pretty ridiculous here in the Discord, but it was data mined that Lilibette would be the next, well, presumably the next DOH unit, which would make it our fifth DOH unit in a row, or fourth one. No, fifth, because we have Divine Beast Ray, then Alice, no, Advocate God Lily, then Alice, then Theria. So this would be our fifth one in a row, presumably. Aside from Godfather, technically, but he's a free unit. So, as like for her kit, which was what I really wanted to talk about, she's probably going to be a earth damage dealer, a physical damage dealer, presumably, since her sword is. I'm basing it off of her sword being green, but she could either be a neutral attacker, since we hadn't had a neutral attacking DOH unit, since I believe Bayland, because Alice was light, Roland was light, Divine Beast Ray was thunder, and so on. So she either might be neutral or earth, since we've also hadn't had an earth damage dealer since Devon, which is pretty much, I think that was our third DOH unit ever. Technically our second DOH banner ever, since I believe Eliza and Lanceville came out on the same banner for Global. So the main question is if she's gonna have support in her kit. Presumably she'll probably have a charisma, if anything, but charismas aren't stacked with one another, so maybe she should have something like Divine Beast Ray, where he has his healing. Lilibette gets some sort of like something like Tinkle, where she buffs the whole team's physical attack. But I think she might not have a support at all. What I could see her being is mainly just physical DPS. And having like an insane like damage cap. I believe, because right now I believe the highest damage cap you can get is either, well, highest base pull is if you have Shin, BB Shin, and he can reach damage cap on his normal attacks if you've seen the Reddit, and he can reach 17,999. And if you have Ray, you use him with, he needs a lot of stuff. Well, not not he himself, but if you want, you can get him to 19,999 if you have Balin's charisma and his UR arc, and him at 6-star. Well, I'm not at 6-star. I don't believe you need him to be at 6-star or at 6 awakening. You can have him, honestly, I think at either like 4 or maybe even just 3, and he'll probably hit 20,000, since he basically reaches 20,000 because he has plus 5,000 in his kit, as well as the plus 3,000 from Balin's charisma, then plus another, I believe it's 2,000 from his arc, which gives him like 19, gives him the 2,000 to almost 2,000, just like one off. So Lilibette might be the same. If not, she's probably gonna be like Balin. Which I don't know why they would make her like Balin, since she hasn't really, because Kyle is more closely related to Balin, since Balin was his teacher, I believe, or his instructor. And basically, I don't know if she's gonna have any, if she's gonna hit 20,000 damage cap. It would be really cool if she did, but as long as you can hit any type of damage cap, then I believe you're okay in this game. Especially for the nightmare content, since we are also getting story, I believe on the 14th as well, and that will be like where she's introduced, kinda, or at least speculatory. She might be released, or she might appear in the story with this new sword. This sword might have some lore into it. As to why, I don't know exactly what the sword is, since again she was mainly a gun unit, and she might still be able to wield guns, because I believe she might be able to, because this might be like her father's sword or something, because I believe her father was a mechanic, or a blacksmith. I don't really know. I don't understand. I haven't really kept up with her lore at all, since I haven't even gotten to level 80 to really see her like character story, which I might do at this point. Since I will have to now grind up a lot of like her skills to make her good. When she comes out, and if I pull her, since I think I will be spending for her, because I believe what her equips will be, she'll probably have a cloak equip, which is this like cape that she has on her, and the sword as well, being one of her other equip, which is kind of like Theria, where Theria's wand is her equip as well as her robe, where she might be the same, or it might even be her boots, because her boots look cool as well. Well, looking cool doesn't signify anything, but aside from that, I think she could be a supporter if they just make one of her like traits a supporting like ability. Depending on the amount of hits you get, she can have like she could give support to the team, or she would have some type of magic to support, or one of her skills could support, or basically anything to give support, since that was what her base was. Aside from that, if we're thinking of her like her skills itself too, then her skills might be the teleport that every unit pretty much gets, one close range one, and then probably a gun or a machine type like long range attack for her skills, since a unit doesn't really need to wield a certain type of weapon to use it in their skills, as seen from Alice, where she actually uses a missile launcher in her second skill, I believe. But aside from that, I think I think we were also talking about this in the Discord earlier as well, that we were speculating that she might be getting like a unique type passive or skill from like her skill tree, which is like we were thinking she'll get triple impact as well as quadruple impact, which is something that someone in the Discord thought of. I don't remember their name, but aside from that, she could get some unique she will get some unique passives, and I think a lot of them will probably be either support or damage increase, which is what mainly our what physical attackers do, and or get in their skill tree. They get a bunch of like physical attack increases. I really want her to be able to support myself, as I've been stating throughout this whole video, because we don't really have a good. Well, we have a good support, but if we have Tikeli, and if you have her, she's really good support. But she's long range and she's not that tanky. I think her other variation as well is just like a better unit altogether, since debuffing an opponent is better than buffing in this game. Especially with the weakness, which is also what I was speculating myself, but like I never really stated this in like the Discord, but I was thinking along the lines that she might be able to debuff the enemy's like resistances. As to whether she might, I was just thinking this. I was like spitballing. If this sword does have some uniqueness to it, then I could see that having like her as like a trait or passive, where she'll be able to reduce the resistance of the enemy, or she might make it so that allies will hit neutral if they don't hit like type effectiveness, or they take reduced damage, like the enemy takes reduced damage from the allies. For physical damage dealer specifically, like basically having Tertila's gun as like her passive or charisma. But aside from that, I think that she's probably going to be a really solid attacker, which is what pretty much every second gen unit that's released is. As to what she will do outside of that, I'm hoping support. Maybe because we've already had two tanky units, being the fact that we had we had Ray and Alice, who are both really tanky. So I could picture her a little bit as being still a little bit frail, but also adding support. Since we don't really need another tanky physical DPS unit. A physical DPS unit either way is going to be okay. Like, is going to be still taking really less damage from anything that isn't really magic, since they do obviously have really good defense out of the game. But aside from that, I think that's really what she's going to be, supporting physical DPS. Aside from that, we do have some data mine stuff for Godfather, which is like portraits for his skills and special, or mainly his magic. Aside from that, we do have some details on him, but they're Google translated, and I don't feel like, because I can't understand Japanese obviously, and I don't really feel like saying something and like trying to pass it off as correct. So we're just gonna have to wait for him to be released the 31st. So in the next week, we should be having, at least in the next like few days, we should be having a video just like using him from the LC team. But aside from that, Divine Beast Alliance, Lilibette, I think she will be a really solid unit. As to whether you should pull for her, it depends, since obviously we don't have anything new, like any detailed information for her. But aside from that, I think she might be a must pull, or at least a better pull than most units. I already think Saint Theria is actually a must pull, because she's really a good tanking support, and a good healer. So now we just need a physical support, and she might also be able to support magic damage dealers as well, since she comes from where Lagros lives. So aside from that, have a great day. Keep on keeping on. Signing out.